car, SUV, or truck, guess what? You're in luck. Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay, come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier, we got the right price. Frontier, we'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors, low overhead country.
Oh, yeah. Low overhead country. That's what we call the Frontier Motor Show here on News Talk 1370 WCOA. Glad to have you with us today, folks, as we continue. If you want to get the price of a car, truck, or SUV you're thinking of buying or selling or trading in, or you have a question about the car business or the price of any of the vehicles displayed at Frontier Motors, call us because I can hook you up with the owner of Frontier Motors. 478-3116. I refer, of course, to Iven Streckel. Good morning.
Looking at a 2015 Ford Transit with 7,000 miles on it. I've got one on the lot. Now, this happened to be a high-roof 15-passenger van. So if you found one for sale, maybe a church bought one, they don't need it anymore, and they want to sell it, and they're asking $35,000 for it, and let's say it's $45,000 brand new, and they're selling it at $35,000, but we had that same vehicle on the lot that we can sell for $33,000. We use that as an example of don't pay any more than $33,000. We're not talking into buying ours. Of course, sometimes that happens because we give you the information to go back to the person you're buying the vehicle from and say, hey, Frontier Motors has a vehicle just like that on their lot, and they're willing to sell for $33,000. So tell you what, if you guys come down to $33,000, I'll buy yours. If not, I'm going to go over to Frontier Motors, and I'll buy a car right from them. So this is how we've been successful in helping people, and we get a lot of repeat and referrals off of it. If we help you buy your neighbor's car, for example, what we'll do is we'll run the ID number for you, and we'll do a Carfax report at no charge. Now, Carfax reports, most people know what those are. They're history reports. And, of course, with all the flooding going on, the hurricanes and things like that, they become more and more popular to make sure, run that Carfax before you buy that car. Well, Carfax reports about $40 plus taxes. At Frontier Motors, they're no charge. So you call us with the ID number. We run the Carfax report for you. And, by the way, we also run the AutoCheck report. AutoCheck is the second largest provider of history reports in the nation. So we'll run that for you also. So we'll run them both because we want to make sure the information is the same on both of them. Every once in a while, I'll find a little glitch where the information is different, but that's maybe 1 out of 200. So we run both of these at no charge for you. And also, we'll tell you what the average selling price in our area is for that particular vehicle. The other thing we can help you with is what if you're going to a car dealership and you've got a trade-in? And let's say I can't talk you out of buying maybe a 6-month-old vehicle with really low miles. An example that I might use is a Volkswagen Passat that I have on the lot. Now, I think everybody here in our area knows that Pete Moore is the local Volkswagen dealership. And I always tell people that if you're going to buy a brand new vehicle, I would definitely recommend our local dealers. Pete Moore sells Volkswagen. He's the only Volkswagen dealer in town. So if you're going to buy a brand new one, I'd urge you to go over there. Plus, by the way, they have a great service department. But I've got one on the lot with 134 miles on it. So now that would be a good comparison to use if you're going to be buying a brand new 2018. This happens to be a 17 model, so I'm assuming most of the 17s are already sold out. So you'd be comparing that to a brand new 18. And let's assume for a minute the body style hasn't changed. The only thing that's going to be important is the bottom line out the door price. Now, let's say you have a trade-in. So where I can help you is you stop in front of your Motors, let me appraise your trade-in for you. I'll give you a written appraisal that you can take to the dealer and say, well, and you can ask them what they're willing to give you. And if that is less money than I'm giving, you whip the appraisal out, and you give it to the dealer and say, hey, I can get this much from Frontier Motors, and I'm not even buying a car from them. So we definitely want to make sure that you are armed with the ammunition that you are not going to get taken advantage of. And this happens quite often when you look at some of the advertisements that are placed either in the newspaper or I see them on billboards, I see them on TV, where you get this phenomenal deal on a car, which actually, as long as they can produce that price, is a really good deal. I've seen this happen already where they'll advertise $10,000 off on a pickup truck. Now, the problem that you have sometimes is you might not be able to qualify for all those rebates and incentives that they're using that give you that discounted price. But let's say you don't care and you feel it's still a good deal. Well, the next thing you're going to do is throw out the keys to the used car manager for your trade-in and ask them to appraise it. Wouldn't it be nice to have a second opinion already in your pocket from Frontier Motors saying that, hey, don't take anything less than $20,000. So if they come back and offer you $17,000, you say, hold on. I'm not even buying a car from Frontier Motors, and they'll give me $20,000 for that car. And here I'm willing to spend, $30,000 or $40,000, which actually last year the average selling price of a brand new car was $36,000. So let's use 36 on average. I'm willing to spend $36,000 with you guys, but you're giving me $3,000 less for the trade. You know why they're doing that? Because they're really not making any money on that advertised car. So how do they make it up? Well, a lot of times they'll make it up in financing. They'll make it up by selling you aftermarket products like rust proofing and fabric treatment and leather interior protection, or the window etching or tinted glass or spoilers or wheels. Or they'll make it up in the trade-in. So what they do is they devalue the trade-in by $2,000 or $3,000, hoping you don't know the difference, and also hoping that you'll be bamboozled by the fact that they're giving you such a good deal on the car, which they probably are. But why not get the best of both worlds? Why not get the deal on that car that's at advertised price, but use our trade-in price? Now, a lot of times what we can do for you is have you trade in that car at the dealership, and if they're not willing to pay that kind of money for it that we're willing to pay, we'll buy it from the dealer, because the dealer is going to tell you, hey, if you trade in your car, you pay less taxes. And I'll give you a quick example. If you have a $20,000 trade-in and you're buying a $20,000 car, how much are your taxes? They're zero, because the government gives you a credit if you're trading a car in. So you don't have to pay any tax. Now, if you sold me the car for $20,000 and you go to that dealership and buy a $20,000 car, you're going to pay about $1,500 in taxes. So sometimes a dealership can talk you into trading in the car because you're going to get a tax credit. Well, why not get the best of both worlds? Why not get that higher appraisal that I'm giving you, trade it in for that dollar amount at the dealership, and I'll buy it right from the dealer. That way you still don't pay any taxes. I still get the car on our lot. Now, why would a dealer devalue your car? One of the reasons they might devalue cars, maybe they don't like it. You ever think of that? Sometimes it's personal opinion. If you've had a bad experience with a particular car on a lot, if you're the used car manager, and now that same car pops up a couple days later, what are your chances of getting good dollars for it? Not a lot. What if the dealer that you're doing business with already has 15 exact duplicates on his used car lot, and they're all aged inventory, and he can't give them away? And here you come with another trade-in. You'll get a lower appraisal. What if the dealership you're doing business with has a $2 million used car floor plan, which means they're borrowing the money from the bank, but they're already at $2.1 million, and the owner says to the manager, hey, you can't get any more used cars. So how do they still go and do business? They call a broker, and the broker takes a little piece of the money, takes a little piece of the buy. So they call a broker and say, hey, I got this car in trade. I don't have the money to buy it right now. How much will you give me for it? So the broker says, well, I've got to pay expenses. I got to ship it. I got to take it to the auction. I got to pay the auction fees, and I got to make a profit. So sometimes you'll get $1,000 to $1,500 less for the appraisal because of that reason. So there's all kinds of reasons why you definitely need a second opinion on your car. So that's just some of the things. I know I've been ranting, and I'm sure Don's going to break in any second.
You're not ranting and ranting. But if you would like to rant, feel free to give us a call, 478-3116, 478-3116. Iven Streckel, the owner of Frontier Motors, is our host for his show, the Frontier Motors Show, right here on News Talk 1370 WCOA. About 19 minutes left, more than enough time for you to give us a call if you would like. Again, 478-3116.
Don, I always talk about Dave Ramsey a little bit because he is so good at doing a radio commercial for us, and he pretty much says in 60 seconds what it takes me 30 minutes to say. So I always like to take a copy of it and play it for everybody.
Hey, Dave Ramsey here. Whether you're on baby step 1 or baby step 7, my advice when it comes to buying a car has been the same. Don't buy new. Consumer Reports last year put into writing that a new car depreciates 27% in the first 12 months. On an average price $34,000 new car, that's roughly a $9,200 loss in the first year alone. Here's what you should do instead. Go see my friends at Frontier Motors. They specialize in great used cars that still look and smell like new. Frontier Motors offers over 400 of these vehicles in stock in one location. What sets these guys apart from a regular car dealership is that they make the hated process of buying a car a stress-free experience. They're one of the few dealers that will give you a bottom line out-the-door price in writing. It's not very easy finding an honest car dealer, but I know you'll be treated right when you shop at Frontier Motors. Tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
So Dave does a really good job talking about Frontier Motors, and he actually is the one who picked us. He only does he doesn't endorse new car dealers, only one used car dealer per metropolitan area, and he chose us. I didn't ask him if he would do an advertisement for us, which is kind of neat because they do the due diligence. They call it Better Business Bureau. They look at your reviews, your Google reviews, and we're at like 4.8, which is about as good as it can get on a used car lot. Don't forget, we sell used cars for a living, so it's very easy to get a complaint. How do you get a complaint when you sell a used car? Well, something breaks after the sale, and the customer asks you to fix it, and you say, no, I'm not fixing it. Boom, you got a complaint. So we do the best that we can to make sure that our vehicles are warranted, number one, so we don't get that complaint. And every one of our cars, as long as it's less than 10 years old, is going to get a 10-year warranty from the original in-service date. Now, I'll give you an example. If you're buying a 1-year-old car, we're going to warranty that car for 9 more years, up to 100,000 miles. Now, that's on the engine, the drivetrain. Most of the vehicles that we have on the lot, I would say about half of them still have the remainder of full factory warranty. Now, what does full factory warranty mean? That just means it's covered pretty much bumper to bumper. But when I say full, it doesn't mean you get a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty if you're buying a Chevy pickup truck, for example, because if the car is 3 months old, you're going to get 33 more months out of it, up to 36,000 miles. And the example that we used before was the Volkswagen Passat that I have with 130 miles on it. What's the warranty on that car? Well, that car, if it's 3 months old, you'll get 33 more miles because Volkswagen's a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty, at least in 2017. They changed that for 18. But that warranty will go up to 36,000 miles, whichever comes first. Now, we have a Nissan Sentra on the lot that has 400 miles on it. The same thing. So what we do is we find out the in-service date, which means when was it originally titled? Because don't forget, our vehicles are titled because we don't sell new cars. We are an independent used car dealership. It is illegal for us to sell brand new cars, even though the Volkswagen has 130 miles on it. The Nissan has 400 miles on it. We have an Altima with 300 miles on it. We have a RAV4 Toyota with 500 miles on it, a Malibu with 1,000 miles on it. Now, that's pretty darn brand new, isn't it? But they're not because they're titled. But like Dave Ramsey said, the first year depreciation is 27%. And that's on the average. Some cars depreciate way more than others. And I'll give you an example, Don. I was at the exotic sale the other day. Do you know what that is?
That is what it sounds like, isn't it? Those are fancier cars.
Fancy.
Or hard to find cars.
Very hard. And I was looking at a Maserati. And
there you go. That qualifies.
Two of the cars that I really like, if you don't get into the exotics, like a Bugatti or something like that, is
Lamborghinis and all
that.
that.
Lamborghini is on the edge are Jaguars. I'm a Jaguar fan, and I'm a Maserati fan. I really like Maseratis. And Don, they had the MSRP, and if you don't know what that means, that's the manufacturer's suggested list price.
I do know.
Okay,
from doing this show with you for the last 20 years.
So the MSRP on this car, they had it noted at $127,000. Now, this was an exotic sale, but when you click on the car, a lot of times the dealers will have the car listed, but you can actually click the Buy It Now button, so you can steal it from the auction before the auction runs. This car had 23 miles on it. Wow. Buy it now, $79,900.
23 miles.
I did a double take.
Yeah.
Let's just round it off to $80,000.
Yeah.
I could buy it now for $80,000. The window sticker was $47,000 more. And you know what? I was scared. I didn't buy it.
Yeah.
You think I'd buy that car, be able to make $10,000 or $15,000?
You would think.
I was scared because I have a program called Price Driver. What Price Driver does, it lets me know, and I plugged in 1,500 miles So that's 1,500-mile radius, So, of course, we can't go too much further south, another 10 miles, and we'll be in the water. But, you can go east and you can go west and you can go north. So that includes, just about the New York area. I think New York's about 1,800 miles away. But Key West, Miami, Atlanta, Knoxville, Dallas, all the big metro towns. And I found that there was 100 of them available, and about 40 of these were brand new Maseratis with 20 miles on them that were used cars. That scared me. Yeah. Now, how did it happen? Why would there be new cars with 20 miles on? Well, they must have had some type of incentive to the dealer. And the dealer, if they didn't hit their goal, let's say you had to sell 10 Maseratis in 1 month, and they probably give you $30,000 back in cash. Well, if you don't sell but 3 of them, and you use that money, they take 7 of them and they do fake owners to them. So they have to register them. They have to title them. They take them to the auction,
a used car,
and then makes them a used car. And here we go. And now I love Maserati, but even I was scared because they were selling these cars down for $83,000 to $84,000, and I had to pay $84,000. Now it cost you almost $1,000 to buy the car and get it home, so I had $81,000 in it. Well, I'm not going to spend $81,000 on a car and make $2,000 on it. The average used car dealership makes about $1,500 to $1,600 per car. That's average throughout the U.S. Some are more, some are less. Right. And some of them, and people say, well, you make a lot more money on an expensive car. That's not necessarily true. The potential is to make more money, but the potential is to lose more money because you're talking about first-year depreciation, 27%. So think about it. You got a $100,000 car, for example, you lose $27,000 in the first month. So anyways, folks, what I'm talking about is depreciation, but I'll give you some realistic depreciation. I brought some examples of window stickers of cars that I have on the lot. I'll give you an example. We have an Outlander, a 16 Outlander, which is Mitsubishi. Matter of fact, Don drives an Outlander. He bought one. And Don, you've got pretty many miles on that vehicle by now.
About 135 now.
135,000.
Still going strong.
So let's say that tomorrow morning you want to decide to trade it. Don, I've got one in stock. It's got a window sticker of 22.5. Mm-hmm. I've got it on the lot with 13,000 miles on, which is pretty brand new, for $16,900. Let's round it off for $17,000. So that's $5,400 less than a brand new one.
Oh, wait a minute. What color is it?
It's blue.
Oh, okay.
Not bad. Yeah, it's kind of a bright blue. I don't know if you like blue or not.
I've never picked a color. What was the last 3 or 4 cars I've called you up and say, get me a car?
Yeah.
And then you call me in a day or two and said, okay, I got it.
As long as it's not ugly, you'll take it.
That's right.
All right, we have a Prius V. If you don't know what a Prius V is, that is a 4-door Prius. That's their larger wagon model. Came out with that a couple of years ago. And this is a level 4, which means it's got leather interior, navigation, everything. The car's got 10,000 miles on it and has a window sticker of 31.7, and we're selling it for 26.7. So that's $5,000 less than brand new. So these are real examples, not fictitious examples. We have an F-250 Super Duty King Ranch on the lot for those of you that are maybe going to buy a fifth wheel and you need something to tow it with. And we've got a 16 model with 34,000 miles on it. The window sticker is a staggering $67,620. We have it priced at $54,800, which sounds like a lot, but folks, that's $16,000 less than a new one. $16,000 in 1.5 years of depreciation. We have a 15 Honda Odyssey EXL. Honda's a great resale value, but even this car here, being a 2015, 2.5 years old, has a window sticker of 36.6. We're selling for 26.6. So you're looking at a $10,000 depreciation. $10,000 depreciation in 2.5 years, and that's just the tipping. Just the tip of the iceberg. And folks, if you're going to buy a brand new car, I always urge people to come into Frontier Motors and let's see how much we can save you. And the way that we do that very easily, we'll give you an out-the-door price. Now, if you have a trade-in, it makes it even better for you because it gets some people get distraught when they have to go car buying. Number one, because they don't do it very often. The average age of a car on the road last year, the average age in the United States is 11.3 years. That's pretty old, which means that the average person hasn't bought a car in 11 years. So how good are you at buying cars, negotiating, getting the best deal? We help you with that because what we do is we urge you to get a bottom line price in writing. What I mean by that is that it has to include the taxes, the dock fee, any type of other fees they want to charge at you. There's some dealerships in Car City that put an obnoxious amount of an addendum on their window sticker. They take the MSRP, the regular window sticker, and they put an addendum on there. And there's one dealership that just calls it a marketing adjustment. What the heck is a marketing adjustment? That means what they're saying is that in our market, we're going to adjust the price because we think this window sticker is too cheap. We think the factory suggested, now don't forget, it is a suggested list price. A new car dealer can do whatever they want. Some dealerships in Pensacola, now the reason I know this is because I go to their lots on Sunday and I spy on them. I take my bicycle and I drive all around. I don't mention names, but there's one dealer group that charges $2,000 on top of their cars, but they give you something for it. They give you like a extra key benefit if you lose your keys, roadside assistance. They give you rust proofing or loss treatment. So at least they don't call it a marketing adjustment. They give you, and they mark it up to $1,900 and some dollars above the window sticker. Now, why do they do this garbage? Well, number one, so that when you come in with the trade-in, they can give you a decent trade-in allowance. They don't really expect you to pay that, but they use that higher window sticker so they can give you. Now, who cares about all that? Why not just do one thing? Mr. Dealer, I like your car. I don't care about all your add-ons. I just want to know, I want to write a check. Now, whether you go to your bank or whether you pay cash is immaterial, because either the bank writes the check to the dealer or you write the check. Doesn't really matter. The figure is the same, whether you pay cash or finance. But if you have a payoff on a car, find out what your payoff is, give the dealer the payoff, and tell them I want one figure. And then with Frontier Motors, we advertise that we give you one figure. Now, we can break it down if you want. Some people want to know how much is the discount, how much is the taxes, how much is this, how much. We can do all that. We'll break it down for you. But the easiest way to do it is give you one figure. So if I'm at $10,000 out the door and the new car dealer is at $15,000 out the door with the same vehicle, let's say I've got 5,000 miles on it, you just have to make a decision. Would you save $5,000 and go with a 5,000-mile car? Or would you say, no, I got that extra $5,000, I'm going to go with a brand new one? Now, one of the things we do is we guarantee, people are always nervous about flood damage. We guarantee that you'll never buy a flood damaged car from Frontier Motors, or we'll buy it back from you. Full price, no depreciation.
All right. It's not illegal to sell a flood damaged car, just has to be disclosed.
Has to be disclosed. Yeah, has to be disclosed. And, Carfax is one, they help a lot. But there's some people, I worry more about private individuals doing this, Don. We talk about the flood that we had about 2 years ago downtown Pensacola, where I saw in Aragon the next day after the flood rescinded. Is that the right word? They had
Receded.
Yeah, that's close enough. Thank you for helping me out. I knew that was wrong, and I didn't have my Google to help me correct that.
Yeah, we got it. It went away.
Receded, and I saw a Wrangler where the person had taken the seats out of it and the carpeting out, and he was drying it out. I know exactly what happened. They had water like 6 feet. That vehicle had water almost to the roof. Guess what, Don? That's flood damage. Now, the guy never made a claim for whatever reason. I have no idea why you wouldn't want to total that car. Maybe he thought it was going to hurt his insurance rates. But he was drying that car out, and he was going to either drive it or trade it in to a dealer. Well, guess what? That wouldn't be on a Carfax report, would he? Because he never made a claim. So I'm telling you, if it ever happened where we noted that the vehicle was actually flood damage, I would definitely, for our reputation's sake, make sure that you're taken care of. That's what we talked about before, as far as making sure that you are satisfied and that it's not obnoxious when I say obnoxious, I'm talking about there are some obnoxious dealers out there that you buy a car one day, the next day your check engine light comes out, and they pretty much tell you to go pound sand. They'll tell you, hey, forget it, you bought the car as is. Well, that's one of the things that you want to stay away from, a dealer that does that. Don, do we have a call?
We do at 478-3116. You got about 5 minutes left. This is Brad.
Hey, Brad, thanks for coming to the Frontier Motor Show. How can we help you?
Hey, need your help. I was looking at a new Honda Fit this weekend at the local dealer, and I started asking questions about, well, what about rebates and things like that? Well, we don't offer rebates on Hondas. And then they had this big box on the side window that says, we're part of the Sonic Group, and we're 100 and some dealers that we figure out what the prices are going for, and then that's the fixed no haggle price. They took $1,000 off the MSRP sticker. What is Sonic, and who are they?
Well, Sonic is one of the largest dealer groups in the nation. I think they're like number 3. There's AutoNation, Sonic, Group 1 Automotive, but they're one of the top dogs, and they have recently gone to a no haggle pricing. When I say recently, they did this at some dealers, as a test market in California. And recently, all of their dealerships are no haggle dealing. And what they do is what they feel they do right is they do the research on what a fair price on a particular car is going to be. Now, again, on a Honda Fit, Brad, I'm not sure what the markup is on. I actually have my cost guides. I have to look it up, but we only have 5 minutes left. But a Honda Fit, for example, doesn't have a big markup to begin with. One of the things that I do have to commend Sonic on is they don't play the games where they jack the price up over the window sticker like some dealerships do, and then they give you a huge discount. But I'll bet you that that Honda Fit only has about a $1,500 total markup. Now, rebates come and go. And I didn't bring my rebate sheet with me. I wish I would have, because he might be completely correct when he says that there is no rebates, because sometimes they'll come out with lower financing. Sometimes there's things what they call cash back to the dealer, which means they don't have to advertise it because the cash back is to the dealer. And sometimes there are rebates. Normally, Honda will come out with rebates towards the end of the model year, which, by the way, is going to be like somewhere around May and June when the 19s are coming out and the 18s are going to be closed off. Yeah.
The Honda salesperson says, well, Honda doesn't rebate any of its cars because it devalues the cars.
Well, no, I don't agree with that, because I've seen Hondas with rebates. But he might be right now, Brad, that they don't have any rebates right now. So he might not be, stretching the truth. Because just so you know, it's illegal if there's a rebate for the dealer to keep it. They have to give it to the customer. They get in big trouble.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Can you buy new Hondas
No.
without this Sonic group?
No, I can't. Now, every once in a while, I get lucky. Like I talked about before on the radio, I've got a couple of vehicles that have 100 miles on them, 300 miles. But that's not the norm. I would say that our average used car, if I was going to get you a 2018 Honda Fit, I would end up getting a used one, and you'd have maybe 5,000, 6,000 miles on it. But the whole thing that I was talking about before is what's the difference? And if you call the dealership, we'll do the research for you. Now, some people might say, no, I want to buy a brand new one, because a Honda Fit's not that expensive anyways to begin with. But I normally should be able to save you $3,000 on a one-year-old Honda Fit, maybe in $4,000 versus a brand new one. But again, some people will buy the brand new one because they want to. But shop around. That's the nice thing about the internet. You go to some of the other Honda dealerships and you take that price and see if you can beat Sonic up. But from my understanding is that they have a corporate policy. Whatever the price is, that's it. That's what it is. No negotiating. So you either love that philosophy or you hate it.
Okay. Well, thanks for your
Thanks,
help.
Brad.
And I'll keep you in mind. I don't mind buying a car 5,000 miles with 5,000 miles.
That's perfect.
What I prefer to do is buy used, but I was checking them out to see if I even liked the thing, and I went away discouraged because I thought, wow, you can't even negotiate a little bit off these cars.
No, that's their philosophy. Like I said before, it's actually going to be going to that pretty soon. There's other dealerships. You heard of CarMax. CarMax moved to town. They're on 29. And they're the largest seller of used cars in the nation, and they have one price selling. What you see on their window sticker, that's what it is. No, they don't even give you $1 off. That's what it is. So you either love that or hate that philosophy. Brad, I got to run. We only got a minute left. I appreciate you calling the Frontier Motor Show, and I want to let everybody know out there some of the things that we have to offer before I get cut off here. Don's going to pull the switch in about a minute. And number one, we talked about free appraisals. Number two, if you get a car that maybe is totaled, come to Frontier Motors. We'll tell you what the insurance company should pay. Number three, depreciation. If you want to know how much a car depreciates in the first year, you come to Frontier Motors, and they're going to give me I got a lot of things more to talk about, Don, and I guess I'm going to have to do it in the next week's show. Like us on Facebook, check out our website, frontiermotorsinc.com. Thanks for listening. Have a great day, and thanks for watching. Auf Wiedersehen.
Looking for the best car, SUV, or truck? Guess what? You're in luck. Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay. Come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier, we got the right price. Frontier, we'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors, low overhead country.